The meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals will now come to order. Roll call.
Mr. Bacilli? Mr. Bacilli? One moment. Mr. Corrin is absent. Mr. D'Angelo? Mr. Mazzoni? Mr. Colometto? And Mr. Tucker?
Present.
Quorum is present. First application before the board is application A1601. Excuse me. This is a special permit application of Lighthouse Renovations, LLC, 118 Tall Oaks Drive, Unit E, Weymouth, Mass., requesting a special permit to reconstruct a non-conforming single-family dwelling on Lot 1 at 180 Broad Sound Avenue in Revere.
There you go. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good afternoon, board members. My name is Corey Rhodes. I'm an attorney with D'Ambrosio Brown, LLP, 14 Proctor Avenue in Revere. I represent the petitioner, Lighthouse Renovations, LLC, and my client is seeking a special permit to reconstruct the property at 180 Broad Sound. This is a dilapidated, legally existing single-family home that it appears the prior owners had used illegally as a two-family. And something that will be put into an end. And this is only a single family that my client is looking to put in here. He acquired the property in December and has moved quickly to get it renovated, wants to get this process going and get it restored as quick as possible. This will be a single-family home that has the appropriate parking. There are 2 parking spaces proposed. The current property has 0, so we think this is a significant improvement for the property and the neighborhood, and also going to be just renovating what has been kind of a blight on the neighborhood, something that I spoke to the ward councilor, McKenna, about. This was on her hit list. That was something that she was going to be taking up pretty significantly, and was very happy to hear that my client was coming in to get this fixed. And because of these reasons and what we've put in the application, we're hoping that you support our petition.
Thank you. Seeing that this is a public hearing, I will ask for proponents. The ward councilor will speak first.
We're McKenna, Ward 1 councilor. I've been getting a lot of calls on this piece of property down there, a lot of complaints. The property's been like this for about, I don't know, as long as I can remember, so about 30 years. It was in deplorable condition. The new owners came in and they cleaned it up. They took all the boards and the debris out of there. I would really like to see a new structure. So I'm definitely for this. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents in favor? In favor. Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? Anyone opposed? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. There are some questions that the applicant will have to provide us some answers to. The current footprint on this plot plan that you gave us, dated January 21st, shows the new unit or the new home being over a little bit to the right. So it's the to Keneally's property. So is there someone here to tell us that if that's actually happening? Because in the application it says you're using the existing footprint so that you wouldn't be changing that. But based on your mark-out lines on this plot plan, it looks like it's moving over a little.
If you give me one moment to speak to my client.
Is this a foundation under, or is this a clear space under?
Well, that's what we're going to ask too.
I apologize for that. From what my client is explaining, and I apologize for the lack of clarity on the plan, where it appears to be bumping out is actually just on what's going to be the second floor. So the foundation is actually the same, but as you go up, it will come out a foot approximately.
So the overhang will be a foot going towards the other properties?
Correct, correct.
But it will still be within the old footprint of the old house?
Yes, yes.
Okay. The foundation? Okay. Now, on your application, you don't state that this is in a floodplain area or a wetland protected area. Have you checked with Conservation Commission that if you were to build this, you have to comply to the new flood map
That would be
laws?
definitely something we'd be doing, following with the Conservation Commission and the building inspector to make sure that we're meeting all applicable orders and conditions that would need to happen with this construction. My very rudimentary measurements, it did appear to put it right outside of the 100-foot conservation buffer. That would keep us out of conservation, but obviously we're going to get that exactly measured so that we know.
Okay. No matter what, you'd have to go in front of Conservation because there can't be any, there would have to be crushed stone inside for the parking.
Okay, yeah.
To have it open up, and
Yeah.
you'd have to go to Conservation for that.
Perfect.
So it wouldn't be a solid foundation or a cement floor in there
Okay.
if they don't allow it.
Okay, we will
Okay.
we'll definitely go through that.
All right, and it states right here, you're not going to go above the maximum 30-foot height, which is already in the zone, so you're not asking for any variance for height. Is there anyone else wish to speak? Hearing no one else want to speak, we can ask for a roll call.
Question now comes on granting the relief requested by the appellant. Mr. Bacilli? Yes. Mr. Corrin is absent. Mr. D'Angelo? Yes. Mr. Mazzoni? Yes. Mr. Colometto? Yes. And Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Yes, this is granted for a single-family dwelling.
So the applicant will have to wait until they get something from the city clerk's office. Thank you. Is this going to be all occupied?
No.
So you're doing this for a sale?
Correct. Thank you, gentlemen.
You don't mind that, but it's not all market, it's still off the sale? It's still going to be better than what it looks like.
Definitely.
Our next meeting will be on March 23rd at 4 p.m.